and we welcome you. And I'm gonna kick this off right away with a question. Reader B has won so many awards this year: Children's Technology Review Editor's Choice Award, Dr. Toy's 100 Best Toys of 2014, Dr. Toy's 10 Best Technology Toys, the Silver Award from National Parenting Publications, and more. It's amazing. Tell us about this amazing app and why so many people are raving about it.
Well, I think they're raving about it because it works and it's cute and fun, and it solves a problem that many kids have, those on the autism spectrum and others, and that is our Common Core state standards call for kids to learn uppercase letters, lowercase letters, how those match, sounds for each letter, sometimes 5 sounds, 100 sight words, all abstract when they're very little. So we cut out about 80 or 90% of that to begin with to make the language very consistent. And I did that by just using lowercase letters, just using one sound. And of course, they'll need more before they're through, but they become confident and excited about it very early because it's so simple. So I think simplicity is the big thing. Well, and also, it moves really quickly from letters to words to stories. And I can show you how that works when you're ready.
Well, Anne, let's talk about the concept that you employ of honeycomb reading. Why is that? What is it, and why is it effective at teaching reading for children on the spectrum?
It lets kids write without using a pencil very easily.
Now, Anne, why do you think that Reader B is so effective at addressing needs of children on the autism spectrum?
Well, first I want to acknowledge that every child is so different, like a snowflake, but I'll make generalities anyway. One is the consistency. Sometimes kids on the autism spectrum don't like things to not make sense. They like things black and white, one way. And Reader B does that completely. Everything is consistent. And so it opens up learning phonics at a simple level. Then they can add in more complication when they get confident. Second, kids can explore freely, doing what they want as many times as they want. If they like to repeat something, it's a very patient teacher. Third, kids can figure out what to do through visual clues. It doesn't have to talk to them about what to do. It just shows them, like Reader B flies up and points to something. Also, it's very positive when kids make a mistake. Sometimes kids on the autism spectrum have trouble if they feel like they're doing something wrong. They're never made to feel that they're wrong in Reader B. It shows marching arrows or anything to help them move forward without a right-wrong sense. Another thing is that it has happy music and upbeat words and words the kids can find. It teaches them these 3-letter words, then they find those in a story. So it's meaningful very quickly. They go, oh, this might make sense. Finally, Reader B can help parents enter a story for them, and they can, it's actually got a setting that lets them use a whole hand. They don't have to do really precise finger movements if they have difficulty with that. Some of the kids I've taught have trouble with their hands enough that it's hard to button a button. Well, this works more with a whole hand if they need it to. Mm-hmm. And they don't have to write with a pencil. They can express themselves so easily with the honeycomb keyboard.
I have to say, too, Anne, this is a beautiful app. It's so reminiscent for me in the way it's illustrated. I was saying to Nancy, it reminds me of the Berenstain Bears, sort of the color palette and the way things are drawn. And Jem loved that, too.
Yeah, our sons love that.
Yeah, it's
glad, because it's not like a lot of apps are harsher. This is a very calm, happy, pretty app. And we really were inspired by Winnie the Pooh and colors like that, and we worked hard on our color palette to make it consistent and just beautiful and soft.
It is. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. In terms of age range and abilities, what is Reader B appropriate for in terms of age range and abilities?
We set it for preschool and kindergarten. Actually, in our own team, some of the grandchildren of ours liked it when they were toddlers, like 16-month-old kids were reading Cat Hat, Man Can. And we don't really like to push things too early, but if kids are going to have a problem, it doesn't hurt that they feel confident so early. Also, people at Apple have said they want to use this for adults in prison, and I was surprised because it seems very kid-like to me. And they said, no, it'll make people happy. Yeah. So there's a really wide age range, but the skills would match the objectives of preschool and kindergarten.
But what about a child that might be older, but academically or in terms of a reading comprehension level, maybe they're at the kindergarten level? Would it possibly be appropriate?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think all the way to adults it's useful. It's kind of at a cat hats that man-tan can level, 3-letter words. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to help a 7th grader with 7th grade vocabulary.
Right.
It will help set the foundation so that we'll have follow-on apps that build up the rest of the phonics so that they can use that for reading anything.
But it's so great to have something that sets the foundation, because we know from there kids can fly. And so many of our kids with autism, I know as a former teacher, you get a 2nd grader who comes in the door, but they don't have a foundation. And so often schools gloss over that and just keep pushing and keep pushing instead of going back and taking care of the foundation. And that's what this can do. So if anybody's watching and their kid is struggling with reading, I think this is a great way of going back, giving them a fun opportunity, and making sure that that foundation is set. And we need to talk about how parents can get this, because it's also one of the more affordable apps that's out there, Anne. I just want to hug you really because you do this right.
We want millions of kids to use it, and we care more about that impact. And if millions of kids do, we will have plenty of money to work with too. ReaderBee can be found most easily at the readerbee.com website. And there are links there to the iTunes store. Sometimes if you search in the iTunes store, the search engine doesn't work, so you can find it. So readerbee.com is a good option. There are 2 apps. The first is ReaderBee and the Story Tree. The second is ReaderBee's First Story Maker, and that's a simple writing program for kids that goes beyond just the simple phonics. It lets kids, it has beginning sounds for examples like alligator, apple, astronaut for each letter. So it has 109 little pictures they can tap into their story. And when you tap the word, it turns a word into a picture and back into a word. So kids can see how to spell something. So that works with kids that like the whole word. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I think readerbee.com is the best way.
And they're so affordable, you guys. We're talking $1.99.
Okay.
This is amazing. People are spending a lot more than this on coffee, and this has the ability to change a child's life. Yeah. And I just want to say about the First Story Maker, both of us have children who have loved Geronimo Stilton books and that kind of book that intersperses the picture with the word. This lets them drive the bus on that, so that they can create the story and put the picture in. And I think that interactivity is brilliant, Anne.
Thank you. Yeah, our developers help think of that, the going back and forth, tapping the word to make a picture and back. I love it.
Yeah,
we do too.
One of the kids I worked with on the autism spectrum he said, how do you spell alligator? He said, oh, wait, I can figure that out myself.
Great.
He said it in fewer words, but he went back and forth between the word and the picture.
And what have you heard? What kind of feedback have you gotten from parents about their children using this?
One is that the children don't want to stop playing, and it's really meant for about 10 minutes. We don't want to keep the kids on the screen too long, but they come back every day. They want to do it over and over and over, and they just love the games and that they're learning their basic reading. So they're especially happy when kids, especially even very young kids, can read words independently that they haven't been introduced to, because they got how the words are put together with phonics. So one parent said she cried when I told her she had to go outside, and they really like it. So if they like it and do it, they're going to learn, because it's kind of fail-safe. One of the reviewers said it's fail-safe.
That's a good thing to have a reviewer say.
And I just want to thank you from the bottom of our mother hearts here for being such an amazing person across a lifetime. We hope that you have many more apps in you.